Hi guys, I want to thank you for joining me on another edition of Life Knocks. Life Knocks is just a short little video series that I try to take the time out at least once a week, where I can sort of talk to you guys and tell you, I guess from my heart, what am I thinking about? Where am I on my path to personal development? What goals am I setting for my life? And maybe you can help me be accountable for those goals. Where is it that I want to improve in my ministry, in my work, and in my craft? And what are the lessons that I'm using to do that? And how can you learn? How can you take from those very same lessons and apply them to your life? This is not something I've ever thought about really doing. I'm not a speaker. I'm not in any way some kind of coach or motivational whatever. I don't put myself out there as someone that is the go-to guy for spiritual or motivational uplift, whatever. I'm just a regular guy. I've got a dream. I want to be a great filmmaker. I am currently a filmmaker, so I'm on the path to getting to where I would like to be for my dreams. I have the unique opportunity to be working with just an incredibly talented group of people who are just like me. I mean, these people that I get to work with to create films, to create projects. And you can see many of them on our blog on a regular basis. And so I feel like I have somewhat of a platform. And, a lot of you guys who are listening to this, we've met before. We've worked together before. I've directed you. You've shown me pointers. You've shown me your incredible talent. We've probably, if not in that situation, then we've met at a premiere or at some kind of networking event or a party or something. I mean, we know each other, okay? And this is an opportunity for me to sort of just talk to you a little bit more about some of the important things that I think really that we need to talk about. And this is not for everybody. And it shouldn't be. I'm not talking to everybody. I'm talking to the person who's trying to get better. I recently was taking a look at some Les Brown quotes, and he's one of my favorite motivational speakers. And it's something he says. I'm gonna read it to you guys. He says, "Every person has a foundation of incredible talent from which to build their ultimate success." Okay, so I just moved that screen away so that I could talk back to you now. But don't you think that's an incredible, just an unbelievable way to look at it, that every person is put on this earth with a foundation that is sufficient for you to be able to build your ultimate success. A lot of times we go into the new year and we think about things like, this year's going to be better. This year is going to be different. This year I am going to lose that weight, or I am going to make that film. I am going to win that award. I am going to whatever. This is the year that I'm going to do it. But guess what? Something that we often overlook is that, did you move this year? Are you a completely different human being this year? Do you like the same food? Do you still like ice cream? Are you still going to whatever stores you go to? Do you like the same types of movies? Are you still married? Are you still single? Are you still, doing everything that you did last year and the year before and the year before that? Well, guess what? If that's the case, then already you're not thinking about it realistically. Already you're looking at the new year as if the year itself, the time that really isn't guaranteed to you. Okay, the next 365, 300 whatever days is not even guaranteed to you, and you're looking at that as if that is somehow the magic bullet or just the golden opportunity to be able to do what you really should have already done. Now, that might be a little bit, this is called Life Knocks for a reason, okay? So I don't sugarcoat things. If you know anything about me, I'm just going to talk to you about how I feel, and you can either take it or leave it. So the good thing I think about all this whole situation, though, is that there is actually a major advantage to being the same person you are now that you were yesterday, that you've been for the past couple of years, whatever. There's a major advantage to that, and that is you still have access to the same opportunities. Okay, whatever it was that you were put on this earth to do, you have the foundation that you need right in front of you. Les Brown, I think he speaks some incredible truth. He says that we were all put on this earth with the foundation that we need to achieve our ultimate success. Okay. I mean, I just look at my life. I look at the fact that now I am I'm a film director. I've got films under my belt. I've directed music videos. I've had opportunities to direct full-length feature films. I mean, these are independent films. They're not major motion picture, multi-million-dollar films, but guess what? They're films, and I directed them. Television shows, pilots, actual shows that are airing on TV right now. DVDs, major events, speaking engagements. I've had some unbelievable opportunities that originated from the very foundation that I was blessed to have just by being born, by people that I just knew growing up, people that I met just in my regular life, just doing my regular thing. The people have the connections, whatever. I mean, just a network. You have everything that you need to do what you need to do. And I think that's where we have to sort of be clear about this whole thing, because I'm not suggesting that we have everything that we need to be able to do what we want to do. I'm saying that we have everything that we need to be able to do what we need to do. Okay? And who is it? I think it's Denzel Washington, a great actor. Obviously, he says, you got to do what you got to do so that you can do what you want to do. And there's wisdom in that. There's wisdom in that, because you got to pay your bills. You got to pay your bills, because there's no point in being in a house with no electricity if you expect to be a filmmaker, right? I mean, you need electricity so you can run the computers and make do the editing and all that. You got to have electricity, so you got to do something to make the money to do that. So you got to do what you got to do to do what you want to do. And that's the same thing, that we have everything that we need to do what it is that we need to do so that we can then do what we want to do. You ever think about it that way? Have you ever thought about the fact that you actually already have by default the gifts that you need to just do what you need to do? Have you ever thought about your goals, things that you have set out for your life, as things that you actually need to do, as opposed to elected things or just things that are sort of optional? Have you ever looked at your life not so much as a where do I want to go today, but more of a where must I go today? What must I do today? What must my life mean? If not for me, then for those around me. Who am I? Who should I be, so that my life has an impact on those around me, so that my ministry has credence, has weight to it? Or I mean, are you like everybody else? I mean, I was like this, I think, up until I decided to leave college, but I was somewhat of a butterfly. I mean, I don't mean butterfly. I mean, like, I was free floating, free spirited. I just kind of, I wanted to be an actor. I got a lot of scholarships in high school, and I chose to use those scholarships to go to acting school. And guess what? I went to acting school, and what did I learn in acting school? I learned that this act is over for me. Bad pun, but I learned that that's not where I need to be. I did not like it there. I did not. In fact, I remember one of the teachers at the end of a performance. She asked me to come outside, and she said, "Pierre, I need to speak with you privately." I said, "Well, okay." She asked me to come outside, and so we went outside the classroom, and she looked at me, and she looked almost searingly into my eyes, and she said, "Pierre, this is not for you. This acting, it's not for you. You need to do something else. You need to go and find some other thing for your life. This is not for you." And I looked at her, and I could not believe she was telling me this. I mean, I really couldn't. I was paying money to come to the school. I mean, she just sort of broke through all that bullshit and told me precisely what I needed to hear. And guess what I did after that? I wrote a note to the president of the school and asked to be what do you call it? Asked to be honorably to leave the school basically, and he agreed. And I left the school and I went into mortgages and started selling mortgages for a while until I had an aha moment and said, wait a second, I need to be a filmmaker, and began the path to be a filmmaker, which was, believe me, long, arduous. I mean, just wow. I mean, because how do you become a filmmaker? You know, especially that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But the bottom line is, that that's what happened to me. I look at that. I look at that, and I look at where I am now, and I realize, you know, that no one came out of the sky magically and just threw, you know, millions of dollars in my lap to go make a movie. Nobody opened the gates of heaven and shined down rays of blessings and goodness so that I could be magically selected to be the next American Idol or the next you know, who voted, you know, what game show winner on something, voting you to be the best for that particular time. I don't know, whatever. Nobody did that for me. I didn't get any kind of lucky break. I wasn't walking my dog on Fifth Avenue or something and someone spots me and say, hey, you're going to be a model, and that changes my life and career. No, I had to get out there and use the resources I had at my disposal. And actually, at first, I didn't have any resources at my disposal. I remember my very first camera. I went to a Radio Shack and purchased a $300 8mm camera. This was before mini DV tapes. I mean, this was when, you know, you had to buy those 8mm like cassette looking film things, cartridges. You put them in the 8mm camera and you film on that. And I bought that, and I started making my very first movies with an 8mm camera. Eventually, and that was actually the last camera I bought. I have never bought a camera for myself since that one time. Isn't that something? I've never bought a camera for myself since that one camera, and I think I probably still have that camera somewhere. But I went out and I used my resources. You know, when I was selling mortgages, I made, I think it was about $75 a week. I mean, I was working probably 3 or 4 hours a day, probably 3 hours a day. So I mean, you know, it wasn't like I was working a full-time job, but I mean, I was working what I could. I made probably $75 to $150 dollars a week on a good week. I was not making very much money, and for me to spend $300 on a camera just for my dreams, my passion, it was a bit of a stretch for me at that time. But look at where I am now. Look at where God has graced me to be right now at this point. I'm married. I have a beautiful wife. She's my best friend. I have the proud opportunity to be the senior producer of a producing firm that is well respected, that has produced incredible projects, that has opportunity just brimming everywhere. To work with a team of people, a team of 10 just incredible producers, each from different walks of life on a regular basis. I mean, it's not easy, but it's happening. It's actually happening. So what about your life? You know, I mean, what about where you are right now in your life and where you want to be? Have you looked at the resources that you have right now? Have you looked at not even resources like things that are available to you, but more like things that you can do yourself? Have you thought about plotting out your goals? Okay, and saying, what can I do to take the first step? What can I do? Not, well, if somebody just, well, no. What can I do? I want you to think about that. I want you to think about that very seriously. And when you're able to, send me an email. Send me you can call the office line at 213-985-3412, but it's really just better to send me an email. Send me an email, livecast at blueartistfilms.com or pierre@blueartistfilms.com. Let me know where you are in your walk. If we haven't already met, introduce me to who you are and how I can help you on your journey. Okay, guys, I'm not doing this for money. This is I want to be able to be that voice for someone, for you, in the same manner that God provided that voice for me when I needed to hear it a few years ago. Okay, not that long ago, just a few years ago. Think about it. And while you're at it, visit our website, blue-artist.com. Check out our Tumblr blog page at, blueartistlive.tumblr.com. Check us out, guys. Be a part of the community. Contribute. Leave a comment. Send us an email. Whatever. Let us know you're listening. Okay? Send us a question. Some of you guys sent us some great questions earlier, and we answered it, and it was pretty fun. So send us some more. Send us some more. I want to thank you guys all for your support and for being just for being who you are and for allowing your talents to shine through our films. Okay? With that said, I'll let you go. Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye. If you like what you see and you want to be a part of our ongoing conversation, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you haven't already, please visit our daily blog at www.blue-artist.com.